folks, this is Vicki at patternprincess.com, and today I want to show you how to do the Catherine's wheel. This is a stitch I've been wanting to do for some time, and so I finally looked at a few patterns and I did it. I am working on a baby blanket right now, and this is a sample I've done for you here. And this sample is done as Karen Simply Soft. I think that this one here is fuchsia, and this of course is white. I'm using an H size hook today. The sample that I'm using here is 27 stitches. You'll work this pattern in multiples of 10 plus 7. So if you want to make it bigger or smaller, what I do is I just, take it in tens, like 10, 20, 30, 40 until I get to the size that I want, and then I just add 7 onto that. And then that'll give you the correct starting chain. So this here is 5 rows that I've worked here, and the pattern repeat is rows 2 through 5. So it's just a 4-row repeat. It's really simple. This, to me, it's always looked really, really hard, but it's really simple compared to what I thought it was going to be. So let's break it down. This is row 1, and again, for my sample, I've used 27 chain stitches. So let's do row 1. In the second chain from the hook, I'm going to move this back a little bit. In the second chain from the hook, so this is number 1, this is number 2. You do not count the loop on the hook. We're going to do a single crochet. And then a single crochet in the next chain. Then we're going to skip 3 chains. So 1, 2, 3. And in that 4th chain, we're going to do 7. Yes, I said 7. Double crochet. That loop's going to get real big, but it'll ease out once you add other stitches into the row. So here we go with 1, 2, got to get all my loops here, 3, 4, 5, and my yarn just caught here. 6 and 7. See how big that loop is looking? But that's okay. It's going to even out. So here's how I'm looking so far. So we're going to skip 3 chains. So if you take a look, this chain stitch here is made bigger, so it means it kind of scrunches the ones by it, but it'll even out. So here we count 1, 2, 3. We skip those 3, and in the 4th chain, we're going to work a single crochet. And then in the next 2 chains, we're going to work a single crochet. And that's the pattern all the way across. We're going to keep skipping. See how now it's starting to even out and look a little bit nicer, right? So now we're going to skip 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. And in the 4th, we're going to do 7 double crochets again. It is kind of a lot to put in there, but it has such a nice fan stitch. So there's 1. Sometimes a Karen Simply Soft, you got to be careful in getting all of the little yarns, otherwise it catches. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then again we're going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and in that 4th, we're going to work a single crochet and 1 more single crochet and 1 more. There's our 3 single crochet. So now you might be thinking, oh gosh, I have 4 chains left. What do I do? I've counted wrong. No, you didn't. You did just fine. You're going to skip those 3 just like we've been doing, and in that last one, you're going to work 4 double crochet. That's like a half of a fan. So here we go with 1, 2, 3, and I'll lay this out, lay this out flat as soon as I get this 4th one done. Okay, let me lay this out flat. So this is our first row, okay? It's starting to take shape. I'm going to bring this down and see how this is this row right here. So now what I did is so you could see it better, but oftentimes in a pattern, for this Catherine's wheel, you want to use the same color for 2 rows. Like this is a setup row. And so this one I use the same as these next 2 rows. So I changed color on my other pattern too, right here in this second row. And then I'll use it for the 3rd row. This is the 2nd row here, and then the top part of the fan here is the 3rd row. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change to white, and then we're going to work the 2nd row. Okay, I've got my white in here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a chain 1. That doesn't count as anything. That's just your that's just a turning chain. Okay, and then we're going to single crochet in each of the first two double crochets. I got to say this right. Okay, so 1, 2. Then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Going to yarn over, and then in the next 7 stitches we're going to do 7 double crochet together. So in the next stitch is our first one. Yarn over and pull it through, keep it on the loop, or keep the loop on the hook. Yarn over, and we're going to go to the next. Yarn over, bring it through 2 loops and keep that on the hook. So that's number 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now there are 7 loops on the hook plus the initial loop. We're going to yarn over, bring it through all the loops, just closes it off, and then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then in the next 3 double crochets, we're going to do a single crochet. 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to repeat what we just did over here in this. To make that bottom part of the wheel, we're going to do the bottom part of the wheel in this divot right here. So we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, and then the next 7 stitches, we're going to do our 7 double crochet together. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we go a 7. Yarn over, bring it through all the loops. And when you bring it through the loops, pull tight a little bit with your crochet hook, and it helps when you turn your hook down. If you notice, I turned my hook down and I brought it through, and I was pulling up a little bit. And now do chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to single crochet in the next 3. Oops, I wanted to yarn over. Did you see that? And now I have 4 stitches left. So I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to do 4 double crochet together. 1, 2, 3, and we gotta tuck it in here. There we go. 4. Yarn over, bring your hook through. Now I'm going to stop a second and show you. It's a little bit harder to see the white on white, but as soon as I get the pink side going, you'll see that too. So we have the corner of a half wheel there, and then we have our bottom part of our wheel here. So let me bring this back forward. See that? We've just done this part here. And then we have our single crochets here. Now we're going to do that top part. So we're going to go on to row 3. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And that does count as a double crochet. And then in this first stitch right here, we're going to work 3 double crochet. So here's 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to skip these 3 chain stitches, and we're going to do a single crochet in each one of those single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to skip these chains, and right here, right in this little spot right here, we are going to work 7 double crochet, just like we did on the chain row. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it does kind of get snug in there. You'll see it kind of gets snug, but that's okay. They get in there. So let me count. We got 1, 2, 3, and then there's 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7. And now we're going to go over here and do the single crochet on top of the single crochets. So we skip those chains. Oops, I didn't catch both loops. There we go. 2, 3. Okay, see how it's starting to take shape? And now we're going to go right back in that center hole and do 7 more double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now we've come to the end of our row, and we're going to skip these 3 chains, and then we're going to end with 2 single crochet, 1 on top of those. There's 1, and there's the other. And this row is done. Row 3 is done. It gets kind of crunched up the way I hold it. And then here we go. See that? It's starting to take shape. Now we're going to go back onto our pink for rows 4 and 5. Okay, I have my fuchsia yarn joined, and we're going to do a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And that does count as a double crochet. So it counts as this first stitch right here. So now we're going to yarn over, and we're going to do 3 double crochet together. So 1, 2, 3. Those next 3, not this first stitch, because remember the chain 3 counts as that first stitch. So you're going to start here, and you're going to do your 3 double crochet together. 2, 3. Yarn over and bring it through all 4 loops. Okay. Now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then in the next 3 double crochet stitches, we're going to do a single crochet. And so really from here, after you have this beginning part here, it's the same as you did in row, you see, 4, 3, 2, 3. Can't even tell you which right row. 3, 1, 2, 3. Do our 3 chain stitches, and then we're going to do 7 double crochet together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this one's 7. And then this is where I talked about before, you kind of pull up a little bit here, and notice how I turn my hook. I got to get a new hook. I know I'm getting that worn down right here. I think I crochet too much. Look at that. Okay, but I turn my hook down, and I'm holding that yarn a little bit taut with my left finger too, so that it doesn't come apart, or it doesn't come out and wrap from this hook when I turn it down. So I pull up a little bit, and then you can bring it through all of them without a problem. And of course I just missed a loop just now when I did that, but I got it. Okay, and then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then our 3 single crochet. And the 3 single crochet should always, in case you think you're off on your count, it should always be the middle stitch, and then I should say the middle stitch. I got to count the middle stitch, and then the next 2. So I always, if I have to count 1, 2, 3, 4. So in the 4th stitch, and then 1 on either side of it. Okay. So in case you happen to get off and you're in the middle of a big project, it's an easy way to tell if you're on target for your count. Now we do our 7 double crochet together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yarn over, bring it through all of them. And then we're going to do a chain 3, 2, 3, and we're going to do 2 single crochet, 1 right here, and then we can't forget about this little stitch here. sometimes that end stitch gets crunched up, but there is one more there. And then we have row 4 done. Now it's starting to look like something. You can see it taking shape. And we have one more row, row 5. I'm going to get more yarn unwound and I'll meet you at 5. Okay, let's go with round 5. So we're going to do a chain 1, and then we're going to single crochet in the next, and the 2 stitches here. There's 2 single crochet. We're going to single crochet on top of them. 1 and then 2. And then we're going to skip these 3 chains, and we're going to do 7 double crochet right on top of that little spot here where we brought them all together. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there's our 7 double crochet. That makes the top part of the wheel. And we're going to skip these 3 chains, and then we single crochet right here. 1, 2, 3. And then we're back to right here in that little hole, and we're going to do our 7 double crochet. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there's our double crochet, and then we do our single crochets. 1, 2, 3. And now what we're going to do is we're going to skip our chain 3s. We're going to go right to this last. Remember we had our chain 3 here? So the top loop of this chain 3, we're going to work 4 double crochet. 1. Got to get the right spot. 2, 3. I missed that spot. I missed the hole. And then there's 4. And I snipped off the yarn, and I changed yarn each time. You know, each time I change yarn today. You could carry the yarn up the side on this, especially if you're changing it every 2 rows like this. It's a nice project to carry up the side. And look at that. Here's all 5 rows done. This looks like that. And then remember, it's a repeat of rows 2 through 5. You can change up the colors, any couple colors you want, 2 colors, 3, 4 colors. And then you could do this in a solid color too. But I really like the definition of the wheels in here. It's just so pretty. I hope you give this a try. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And then you can find all of the free patterns on patternprincess.com as well. Thank you and enjoy your day.